Good morning. So this is our last classwork in our retirement unit. Today we're going to talk about investment diversification. Let me get the highlighter here. So diversification. You work hard for your money. How can you get your money to work hard for you? There'd be many disadvantages to keeping all of your money that you've earned in a box in your home. It's not going to be safe. It could be lost to theft, fire, and what we're interested in talking about is it wouldn't grow in value. So throughout our study of financial algebra, we've learned about many ways you can be invested so it grows over time and provide you with more income than just the money you earned. So to that point, many different ways. We're going to go back and use some of the calculators, some of the compound interest formulas that we've used, the monthly payment formula. So I added another one of our calculators to our OneNote page. So we'll be using that. So different ways you can invest your money. From the beginning of the year, we talked about bank accounts. We've learned some about stocks and bonds. We've done real estate, life insurance. So here we go. Each of these investments carries a certain amount of risk and reward. For that reason, many people diversify their investments. What that means is they put their money into different types of investments to avoid being subject of potential volatility. A riskier investment is an aggressive investment, and a safe investment is referred to as a conservative investment. When you invest, however, be sure to understand the liquidity of your investment. Liquidity describes how fast your investment can be converted into cash. If you need money for an emergency and it was in the bank, it could easily be converted into cash. If your money was tied up in real estate, collectibles, cars, things that you have to sell to get the cash, depending on the market, you might have a hard time or you may take a loss on that. A little research coupled with clear idea of your financial goals will help you determine which investments fit your needs best, but remember, nothing is a sure thing, except for an FDIC insured bank account. So we're going to compare different types of investments here today. Amelia is planning to invest in a $90,000 inheritance she received. She plans on investing 20% in a growth stock, 25% in an income stock, 15% in corporate bonds, and the remainder into a CD. So how much money will she be allocating to each category of investment? Well, let's find out what percentage is the CD. So 20 plus 25 plus 15, that's going to be 60, so 100% minus the 60% equals 40%. So 40% is the CD. So 20% of 90K, 25% of 90K, 15% of 90K, and 40% of 90K. What do those all equal? 18,000, 22,500, 13,500, and 36,000. Which of Amelia's investments besides the CD carry the least risk? So CDs don't carry very much risk at all. Corporate bonds carry the least. After that, after our least, and you should know that usually growth stocks carry most risk. Example 2 years ago, Caitlin invested a $90,000 bonus she received from her job as shown in the following graph. Some of the investments were speculative stocks, and a speculative stock is a stock in a new, unproven company. They're often inexpensive but very risky, meaning it's more likely that you're going to lose some of your money in investment capital. If the corporate bonds earn a total of 8%, the growth and income stocks earn 21%, the CDs earn 2%, the speculative stocks lose 88% of their value, and the checking account grows 1%. Compute the net monetary gain or loss. We got there. 8% of 10%. So the corporate bond earns a total of 8%. So that's 8% of over here in the pie chart, 8% of 10%. And we want to know 21% of 28%. 2% of 40%. A negative 88% of 9%, and 1% of 13%. So 8% of 10%, the corporate bonds, and when you multiply those two together, you gain 0.8%. Notice where the decimal is. So that was a gain of 0.8% of $90,000. Growth in income, when you multiply 21% with 28%, with a gain of 5.88%, 2% of 40%, that's the CDs, another gain of 0.8%, a negative 88% of 9%. So clearly that's a loss, or we can call it a negative gain. So that speculative stock has a gain of a negative 7.92%. And checking. It's a gain 0.13%. So the total gain, oh, hold on, I gotta let my cat out of the room. So total gains then, if we added all that together, is 0.8 plus 5.88 plus 0.8 minus 7.92 plus 0.13. Adding that all together, it's going to be a negative 0.61. So this portfolio overall lost 0.61% of its value. So how much did they lose? 0.61% of 90K, $549. You're like, compared to 90,000, it's not a big deal. But $549 is real money. Joe's investment portfolio contained 90% speculative stocks. If all the value of all the speculative stock, if the speculative stock went down to $0 per share, is it possible for his portfolio to make money? Yeah, sure. Because that 10%, it's not the speculative stock, could end up making, oops, I can't write. Making bank. That could be the moneymaker. Claire has $12,000 she'd like to invest for the next 4 years. She's considering purchasing 240 shares of stock in Castellano Corporation preferred stock. The annual dividend is $1.84 per share. So I forgot to include the question on this one. If you don't watch the video, you don't see the question. All right, so what do we have? We have 240 shares times the dividend of $1.84 per share times the 4 years that she's collecting that dividend. So that's going to be $1,766.40 she collected in dividends. If she sells after 4 years, did she gain or lose? And if she sells what she bought for $12,000, if she sells that for $10,500, did she gain or lose? So you have to keep in mind the dividend when you talk about gains and losses. So here we go. 10,500 minus the 12,000 equals a loss of 1,500. But she gained the dividends. So negative 1,500 plus 1,766. Over the 4 years, she came out ahead, $266.40. So it wasn't that terrible of an investment to sell. But if she sold it for $18,700, well, she's going to have that gain of $6,000, capital gain of $6,700 plus the dividend income. So she's ahead $8,466.40 in total for that stock. Jennifer and Kevin bought a real estate property for $350,000 for investment purposes. They put a down payment down of $50,000 and borrowed $300,000 from the bank at 5.2% APR. The mortgage is for 15 years. Excuse me. Based on research they forecast selling the property in 10 years for $1.5 million. So let's compute the gain when selling price compared to the total down payment of all the monthly payments, including the interest. So we're going to use the monthly mortgage payment calculator that is in Excel if you can't find yours. I mean, it's in Excel in your OneNote if you can't find yours. So putting all of that in using 300,000, 5.2%, 15 years, her monthly payment is $2,403.75. So for 15 years, 15 times 12 equals, she made 180 payments. 180 times 2,403.75 is $432,675. But remember, she also has into the investment that $50,000 down payment. So total in on the house with interest after 15 years is $482,675. If they plan to sell for 1.5 million, 1.5 mil minus that 482,675. Yeah, I'd say they got over $1 million in gains if their prediction about the market is correct, that it'll be worth that. So if instead of buying the property, what if you took that monthly payment amount and deposited it into an account that paid 4% interest compounded monthly for 15 years? So for this problem, we're going to use the future value calculator. So this is the computing tools we already knew or know in a different platform. So all said and done, and we put those numbers in for 15 years, it would only grow. $590,540.01. So this is deposited monthly. So this is the future value calculator when you make periodic payments. If you had a future value for a single payment, remember that's just our compound interest formula. And that's where you go. The balance is your present value, whatever you put in, whether it's your down payment of $1,000 or $2,000, your interest, the rate divided by how many times, quarterly, monthly, daily. Let's just pretend we're going to do it daily. 365, and that's your time in years times 365 to get your number of daily payments over that time frame. So remember, this is single deposit. This future value is periodic. Deposit. Make sure you know the difference because some of the homework questions we're going to be using this one. All right, Rob pays $98 per month for a $100,000 full life insurance policy. If Rob holds the policy for 29 years and then dies, his beneficiaries will receive $100,000. Compare this to investing $98 per month for 29 years at 4.6% interest compounded monthly. Use the future value of a periodic investment calculator. So if we figure that out, Rob will pay $71,238.21 for his life insurance policy for 29 years.